Hi, I'm Nik Kershaw, and you're listening to Maxi Madness Mixalot.
Well, I'm sitting here with Nik Kershaw, and I'm very pleased to meet you, Nik. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.
And you're going to go on stage here at the Center, and I know you were at the stage in Copenhagen last night. How do you think the audience were last night? And did you enjoy it?
I did. I enjoyed it a lot. Denmark's always been a great place for me to play. The audiences are lovely and generous and warm and enthusiastic, which is how we like them. Yeah.
Was it a big concert or tiny one?
It's quite a fair-sized hall, but some of it was seated with tables, and which is kind of a bit odd. I'm not used to playing those kind of gigs. It's kind of a bit strange, and there was a standing area as well. So I don't know. There was maybe 500 people there. I'm rubbish at guessing how many people there are in a room.
I know you have this album out. You made it in 2012, 8. Do you have something new on its way, a single or a new album?
As a new album on its way, I've kind of been making it ever since the last one. So it just takes longer the older you get, because you get more choosy, and you don't want to repeat yourself. And you kind of lose the ability to surprise yourself. So it takes longer to get the ideas in the first place, and you end up throwing away quite a lot. It's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back all the time, which is why it's taken so long. But yeah, it's about to be. We're starting mixing on Monday, in actual fact. So hopefully there'll be something ready and available in the spring.
That's very interesting. Do you thinking of release it on vinyl?
Well, that seems to be the thing to do. Yeah, it's difficult to know, really. I mean, because there's obviously quite a cost involved in cutting and manufacturing vinyl for a limited amount of people, you'd think, who'd actually want to buy it. But yeah, I mean, there's even debate about the fact whether it's even worth releasing something on CD nowadays. That question actually gets asked, and in fact my CD player in my studio broke a few weeks back, and I tried to go and buy one, and it's like trying to buy a new CD player. It's like, how do you do that? You can't find them anywhere. So that's going to be a thing of the past at some point. But yes, it will be available in some kind of physical form. Certainly there will be CDs, there will be maybe some vinyl. We haven't really had that discussion yet, but obviously it will be on all the digital platforms.
Yes, that's why I'm asking, because the CD production is lower than vinyl, and it's a very modern thing because this media is coming up now.
Yeah, I mean, even I think the 1975 released some of it on some of their last album on cassette as well, which is like, really? Who's got a cassette player, and B, why would you want to listen to something on cassette? But I think people buy the things because it's just something to have. It's like physical. I think because in the age of streaming and that you can't really buy into anything because it's kind of there and then it's gone. But if you've got a CD in your hand, or even a cassette, or a bit of plastic in your hand, you've kind of involved yourself more with the product, I think. Yeah.
So maybe you will do something on cassette as well. I don't know.
I'm going to have to say that's pretty unlikely. I said, do you know what, we can... I remember when CDs came out back in the sort of mid-'80s, because we were so glad when CDs came out, because you spend so much time and effort concentrating on all the tiny little detail on a record, and then at the time you have to compromise some of it to put it on a bit of plastic to get it cut, and so CDs were like, great, you're actually going to get it to sound basically how it sounds in the studio, which was quite extraordinary. And so cassettes, they definitely didn't, other than being able to walk around, to kind of travel with your music, with Walkmans and stuff like that, which is a great thing to do. And I did that, yeah, but the actual sound quality was dreadful. But I can see why people are kind of nostalgic about it, though. And like to listen and that kind of thing. I do play my old vinyl sometimes.
I'm glad to hear that. So. But now you're going on stage here tonight, and I know you've been active since 1976. Are we going to hear some new songs from you tonight?
There won't be anything from the next album. No, not tonight. I haven't got brave enough to wheel anything out in public. I'm quite paranoid about new music all the time. It's as much as you can do to actually, when I release a record, to actually play it to anybody. So I kind of it's rare that I've played a song live before I've recorded it or before the record's been out. That's only happened a couple of times in my career. So no, there won't be anything brand new. But there's certainly, there'll be a mixture of stuff. There'll be obviously people come to hear the old songs, and there will be the old songs. I'm not an idiot. So it's, and I'm very fond of those songs, and they've been very good to me over the years. So I've got a kind of respect for them. So yeah, but there'll be songs from all the albums over the years, and up to the last one, yeah. But yeah, good old mixture.
I saw on the internet you have been on the 35 years tour in the spring in Germany.
Yeah. Short tour in Germany, yeah. That was fun. That was good fun. Just playing little clubs, and because you don't. I spend a lot of time playing festivals, and you're playing. You're on stage for anything from like half an hour to an hour. Maybe some of the bigger festivals a bit longer, but to get a chance to play an entire concert is quite rare, to be honest. So it was good to get out and play a few clubs in Germany. Which was a kind of a good territory for me back in the day, and also it's not. I don't embark on any huge long tours anymore anyway. So it's always going to be a couple of weeks at a time, And this year it was Germany. The year before it was Australia. The year before it was, we went to South Africa and stuff. I kind of like to spread it about a bit. I've grown to love playing a lot more than I did back in the day, performing. I used to be terrified of performing on stage. I used to get very, very nervous. And I was just terrified of being found out or getting it wrong or making a fool of myself, all the time. And nowadays I kind of think, well, I've got nothing to prove in particular, and people have still come to see me and they still want to hear those songs, and it's great fun hanging out with the band, and I'm just enjoying it for what it is.
I was wondering, have you been asked to join a festival here in Denmark?
We haven't. Other than there were a couple. There was the Esbjerg Festival I don't think they do that anymore. We did that a few years back, a couple of times. And there was Rock Under the Bridge. That was another one that we did. In fact, that was my first gig back after about 9 years. Was Rock Under the Bridge back in 1999. But yeah, we don't often get asked to do festivals in Denmark for some reason. Norway, yes, lots. Occasionally Sweden and Germany a lot, but not Denmark. So if there's any promoters out there, please give us a call.
Do you have any plans for the future? You're 61, I know that. Have you been thinking to retire or?
I don't know. People used to moan about this. People like the Stones and stuff. I was thinking, why are they still going? And they're still going because they can. Why wouldn't you? If you're having fun and you're doing what you love doing, why wouldn't you just carry on doing it? So I don't see any need to stop. And plus the fact that I'm no good at anything else. So what am I going to do? I'm going to stay at home and watch daytime TV all day. You have to have a reason to get up in the morning, And there's always the feeling, especially if you're a creative person, and you still kind of have the belief, and I still have the belief that I haven't yet done what I was put here to do. I still think my best work is yet to come, and you have to think that every time you make a new record, and you have to think, well, it's got to be better than the last one. That's the point in doing it. Yeah.
Yes, and I know you are very a good and professional songwriter for other artists. Will you do that in the future as well?
I did it a lot in the 90s when I stopped performing myself. And it was an interesting experience, and I learnt a lot doing it. But it's so much easier just to please yourself. It's just, it really is. And it got very political as well, writing for other people. And you've got the artists, their manager, the producer, the A&R guy, the marketing people. Everybody had an opinion about a piece of music, and then you end up with a piece of music that everybody quite likes. Rather than something that one person really loves. And it's just, I'd rather do that. And that's why I started making records myself again, because I just kind of was fed up with giving ideas away and them just disappearing somewhere or turning into something that I didn't like. And I'm such a control freak, so I just kind of thought, well, I'll do it myself. So I do that less and less. I do it with friends sometimes. I'll write with friends, and if they come over, and it's just something to do, But no, I've got no big plans to go back into that big time, no.
I'm going to ask you the last question about streaming music. How do you think this streaming thing is about earning money on your music? Is that a good business or what?
It's a difficult subject really, because as well as a music maker, I'm a music consumer as well. I kind of, and from a consumer's point of view, it's amazing. It's brilliant. You pay X amount of money per month, and you can have anything you want all the time. And I do that, and I am, I've got Apple Music. I draw the line at Spotify, to be honest, but but I've got Apple Music, and I do stream stuff, and it's great, and it's a great way of discovering new music and just exploring, and I like doing that. So from that point of view, it's brilliant, it's amazing, but obviously it has to be able to sustain itself, and to do that, the people creating the music in the first place have to be able to earn a living. Otherwise it becomes something people do in their spare time, and it's not something people dedicate their life to. And there is it is notoriously bad for the writers and the creators of the music, the streaming. And part of the problem is that also people don't see. The other thing is, if you in the old days you bought an album, if it's on vinyl or whatever, you'd buy 10 tracks, and you might only like, you might have bought it because of one or two songs that you'd heard, and you'd learn to love it, and you'd learn to love the songs that you didn't know about, and you'd explore it, and you'd get into it. But now people don't do that anymore, and people don't really buy albums, or they don't. Quite often don't even stream albums. They'll just stream the songs that they want to stream, or they'll make a playlist of the songs that they already know, that they've been played on the radio, or they'll whatever. So you never get to explore in that sense, which is a real shame, because obviously people like making albums and putting everything they can into all those songs, and just people just pick out the ones they already know. It's a bit of a waste of time, really. So that's a shame. But it's a young thing. It's only a few years old, and we've all got to adapt to it. Both the people listening to it and the people creating the music. It's just a thing that's going to sort itself out over the years, I think, and it's not going away. It's not going to stop anytime soon. So we just have to get used to it and develop new ways of new income streams and new ways of making it work, for all parties. But it takes cooperations. It's going to take cooperation from all the big corporations and everybody involved, really, for it to be something that's going to work in the long term, I think.
I can see record stores are opening everywhere, so you can still buy vinyl and CDs, and I don't know how much the income will be buying vinyls, but...
Yeah, I think it's a small. It's basically. I think artists do it because there's a limited market for it, and they're not getting any money out of it. But it's a kind of it's a thing that some people will want, and if you can do it and can afford to do it, then it's a great thing to do. But yeah, I don't think anybody actually makes an awful lot of money, other than the really the Taylor Swifts and the Ed Sheerans of this world aren't actually making money in recording royalties, because that's a kind of a thing of the past, really. But they're making money on streaming, they're making money on performance royalties on radio plays and stuff. There is still income out there to get, but it's just more difficult, and it's more and obviously because of the internet, there's so many more acts after the same people's attention.
Thank you very much for the interview, Nik Kershaw, and I'm looking very forward to the concert tonight. I hope you'll get a great concert. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it too. Thank you very much.
I've got two strong arms, blessings of Babylon time. you.